What is the latest on Jeffrey Epstein, his death in prison, and what Ghislaine Maxwell, his partner in crime behind bars, is now saying?
There have been more explosive claims from Ghislaine Maxwell as the full interview from inside her Florida prison is aired. She insists billionaire and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was murdered in jail and wishes she had never met him.
Ghislaine Maxwell, introduced on Britain's Talk TV as the most notorious female prison inmate on the planet, offering not a single word of apology for her victims. Instead, a series of unsubstantiated claims, including that Jeffrey Epstein's suicide in prison while awaiting his sex trafficking trial in 2019 was something more sinister.
I believe that he was murdered. Well, I was shocked. And I wondered how it had happened. I obviously wish I'd never met him.
The disgraced British socialite questioning Virginia Giuffre's evidence against Prince Andrew and calling that infamous photo of the pair relied on as evidence against the Duke of York a fake.
Her stories have changed so many times about what happens, when it happens, how it happens, with different versions.
Ghislaine Maxwell is serving 20 years behind bars for procuring teenage girls for Jeffrey Epstein to abuse. When asked if she had anything to say to those women, there was no remorse. This was the response.
Epstein died, and they should take their disappointment and upset out on the authorities that allowed that to happen.
The overarching message, blame Jeffrey Epstein, not her, as Ghislaine Maxwell prepares to launch her appeal.
So the biggest misconception of you?
That I'm the cruelest, meanest, horriblest person who's committed crimes.
Wow, that's a lot. To sort all this out, please welcome attorney and founder of Judicial Watch, founder and chairman of Freedom Watch, and author of It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America, Larry Klayman. Larry, the majority of Americans do not believe that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide.
No, if you believe in that, you live on Mars, Larry. I mean, it's obvious. He obviously had no incentive to kill himself. And Ghislaine Maxwell's coming forward right now because she obviously fears for her own life. She's trying to insulate herself from a similar attempt, perhaps to try to assassinate her. And of course, you know, I have my theory. I don't know if you want to hear it, but it's
I want to hear. What is your theory? Who do you think did this?
It's pretty obvious. 80 people died during the Clinton administration, not all by the law of average. I personally believe that Hillary Clinton had this done, or Bill Clinton, or both. They hired a hitman, perhaps the mafia, to get in there and to kill Jeffrey Epstein. We know that Clinton himself, Billy, went to so-called Fantasy Island many, many times. He was the biggest customer. But there could be many other suspects. This could be.
I was going to say other people went there too. Alan Dershowitz, I believe, went there as well. So it's a long list of suspects.
Yeah. Maybe we need to get Inspector Poirot to come in here and investigate another movie, Murder at Jeffrey Epstein's favorite prison. I don't know, but it is suspicious. Yes, I would say, you know, a lot of Washington D.C., a lot of Hollywood is involved. Remember that monologue of Ricky Gervais a few years ago at the Golden Globes? Mocking the people that were there over their relationships with Epstein. There's many suspects, yes, but I would say the primary suspect is probably Hillary Clinton. And I remember taking a deposition of Harold Ickes back in the Clinton administration, and I asked Harold if he ever asked for a few favors from his mafia friends. And he came at me over the desk, went off to the bathroom, said he was going to leave something on my floor if he didn't go to the bathroom. These were bad people, really bad people.
And Larry, I know you represented a number of the women who made accusations against Bill Clinton. Are you involved at all in this case? Do you represent any of the women that have been exploited?
I'm not. Nobody's asked me yet, but I'm available if they do. Obviously, I have some experience here. And
now let's talk about his death. Wasn't he under a 24/7 watch? And weren't there at least 2 guards supposedly there all the time?
Absolutely. I mean, it's inconceivable that he hung himself. I mean, just no one believes that. I've never met anyone who actually thinks that's what happened.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Bodden also examined this, and he said out of all the cases of suicide he's seen, he's never seen the kind of bruise that he saw there, and he believes it was not self-inflicted, that he was actually murdered.
Well, absolutely. And, and again, there's a wide swath of clientele. And Elaine Maxwell, obviously, people have said this. They're surprised why she's still alive. God forbid anything happens to her. But she should, frankly, take some advice from you and possibly me that she should start singing. She should start talking about this, because that would be the best way to insulate her from perhaps being killed herself, in my opinion.
What's that? The great Eldersky has in his baby brown libertarian fingers a pair of my slippers. I indeedy do. But you don't. You can remedy that. How, you say? By calling the number on your screen or going to MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. By the way, different colors and also different styles of the My Slippers. This, of course, is the product that started it all, the MyPillow, or is that redundant? Best thing you've ever slept on. If you don't have one yet, call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. And by the way, over 100 sleep-related products. So go to MyPillow.com. This is the 6-pack towels. They're called towels that work because they are absorbent. Isn't the whole purpose behind a towel, other than maybe cover yourself up a little from time to time, to absorb the water? Well, these towels actually work. They don't not only look good, not only feel good, but they actually absorb the water. My Pillow towels. And finally, I've got this. This is the Giza Dream bedsheet, made in an area in Egypt called Giza, where they have the finest cotton in all of the world. Also, different colors. Mine comes in white because, after all, I am the black face of white supremacy. What other color would I get? But yours, you may want different colors. They come in different colors and, of course, different sizes because beds come in different sizes. Again, over 100 products. Call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER, MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. Now, has the list of all the people that went to Love Island been released?
I don't believe it has, no. And years ago, these kinds of scandals are very common to Washington and Hollywood. You remember the Hollywood Madam? That was one of them. Mm-hmm. And then in Washington, during the Reagan administration, there was a scandal over a male prostitution ring that was taking place, not just male, but also female. And that was covered up. And there were a number of names that were involved. The Secret Service had the names because they got their names off of credit cards. The Secret Service obviously monitors credit in this country. I don't think most people know that. But these things are always covered up. Of course, most everything's covered up in Washington, D.C. and Hollywood.
Larry, I don't much care one way or the other about Jeffrey Epstein or about Ghislaine Maxwell. The issue is, can somebody behind bars somehow be murdered? A citizen somehow be murdered. That's why, to me, this whole thing is jaw-dropping.
Well, hey, it happened during the Clinton years. It's those 2 and 2 equal 4. We remember what happened in Arkansas with a particular individual's name I forget right now. It's been so long ago. But a key material witness in the Whitewater scandal died mysteriously in prison at the time. You remember his wife was fronting for her. Do you remember that particular instance?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And Larry, it's also just interesting to me, and this doesn't apply just to this case, but how the media just has a no-fly zone over certain things. You represented Juanita Broaddrick, as I recall.
That's right.
And she made an allegation that after she allegedly was raped by Bill Clinton, then the AG of Arkansas, 2 weeks later she goes to a political event, and Hillary's there, and essentially threatens her and says, we appreciate everything you've done for us, and squeezes her hand, she says, so hard it was painful, and let her know in no uncertain terms she should keep her mouth shut. To my knowledge, Larry, Hillary has never been asked about the allegation that Juanita Broaddrick made. Even to say, no, it never happened. She's never even been asked about it.
Well, yes, I represented Kathleen Willey, who was harassed in the Oval Office after her husband died by Bill Clinton. She was also threatened. People came up to her on a bicycle and mentioned her kids. That's a threat. Dolly Kyle Browning got direct threats from Bruce Lindsay. By the way, the name of the person who died mysteriously in prison was Jim McDougal, and it was Susan McDougal who basically fronted for him, went to jail, and wouldn't testify. It was rumored at the time that she too had an affair with Bill Clinton. Nearly everybody in Little Rock did, apparently.
Well, I've never been to Little Rock, so I'm not on that list. Last thing, Larry, this is kind of salacious, but you heard Ghislaine Maxwell say that she believes that picture that everybody's seen of Prince Andrew and that young woman is photoshopped or somehow phony. What's your thought on that?
Well, we'll never find the truth out about Prince Andrew, no more that we'll find out the truth about who killed Diana, for that matter. I think a lot of people think that now King Charles had something to do with that. I mean, this is a hornet's nest in the royal family in Great Britain. Nothing comes in and nothing goes out, except for Harry and Meghan, I guess. That's about it.
Larry Klayman, founder, chairman of Freedom Watch. Larry, as always, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
God bless, my good friend. Thank you.
God bless. Be sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and scroll down and join our mailing list because, believe it or not, from time to time, YouTube, for whatever reason, has issues with our vids. To make sure you don't miss any of our videos, get on our mailing list. And you see that big donate button? Hit that, throw a little something in the tip jar. Make sure that we can continue to give you hard-hitting, honest programming. Remember, Larry with epoch.com, Larry with epoch.com.